Does winning translate to better attendance in the NBA? Attendance isn't the be all end all of fan interest, but it is an indicator of the interest in the team this season. So if you look in the top right quadrant here, this is going to be the teams with the most wins and the most attendance. So you would expect to see all playoff teams. And we've got the Detroit Pistons, the Spurs, the Thunder, the Knicks, the Celtics, the Cavs, and the Lakers. So all 7 of those teams are kind of top tier playoff teams, all with pretty respectable attendance, except for the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are kind of more in that middle tier of attendance. And then in the bottom tier, you would expect to see all tanking teams, teams without a lot of interesting players and that have kind of thrown in the towel. So we've got the Memphis Grizzlies, no John Morant most of the year, only 25 wins. The Washington Wizards have been tanking for like a decade. The Sacramento Kings, who've been a shit show. The Pacers, who don't have Halliburton this year, and the Pelicans. So all teams you would expect to have pretty bad attendance, and the Bucks, of course, without Giannis most of the year, I'm sure their attendance tanked because of that. So no outliers there, but then you've got some kind of outliers with win totals and with average attendance. So over here, you've got the Chicago Bulls, who lead the league in attendance despite only having 29 wins and not having a particularly interesting team to root for. You've also got the Dallas Mavericks, who have been tanking for pretty much all of the year. They traded Anthony Davis away, but they've got the exciting number 1 overall pick effect of Cooper Flagg. So I think there's always a qualifier where if you have an exciting rookie, it's not going to translate to wins right away, but you're still going to have an increase in attendance. And then over here, you've got the Atlanta Hawks, who have 44 wins, which is very respectable, and yet only 16,000 attendance, one of the lower tiers, bottom half in attendance in the league. And to match them, you've got the Phoenix Suns, who've been a surprise team this year, and the Trailblazers, who are winning at decent to respectable clips and yet are not having fans show out for them. And then you've got the rest of the teams in the middle, which are kind of your mid-tier teams with mid-tier attendance. The Clippers are sort of the perfect example of that. They are at 39 wins at 17,500 attendance. They're a big market, but they're a second tier in a big market, and they're just kind of average. Orlando Magic as well. Charlotte Hornets. Actually, the Hornets have a respectable amount of attendance considering they're in such a small market, but just shows how much excitement LaMelo Ball and that team draws.